Stop doing these if you ever want to become rich. My friend, let me offend you gently, but save you permanently. Most people are not poor because opportunities are missing. They're poor because certain habits refuse to die. Everyone says they want to be rich, but almost no one is willing to stop doing the things that guarantee poverty. Today, I am not here to motivate you. I'm here to warn you, because wealth is not about what you start doing. It is about what you stop doing. If you can listen without arguing, if you can hear without defending yourself, you may not just become rich. You may become very rich. Over the years, I have watched people pray for money, work for money, dream about money, yet still remain stuck. Not because they lacked effort, but because they kept repeating behaviors that quietly cancel wealth. Money is predictable. It avoids chaos. It avoids emotional instability. It avoids undisciplined hands. That is why some people earn little and grow steadily, while others earn much and remain poor. This message is not an attack. It is a mirror. Some of the things you are about to hear will feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is not rejection. It is recognition. Wealth does not respond to wishes. It responds to order. And until certain habits stop, prosperity will always feel close but never permanent. So listen calmly. Listen honestly. Not to be entertained, but to be transformed. Because sometimes the difference between struggling and thriving is not what you add to your life, but what you finally have the courage to remove. Point 1. Stop spending money to impress people who don't care. This one habit alone has buried more people financially than bad luck ever could. Many people are not broke because they earn little. They are broke because they perform too much. They buy phones they cannot afford, wear labels they do not need, and live lifestyles they cannot maintain, all for people who will forget them the moment they leave the room. Let me tell you a painful truth. Most people you are trying to impress are not impressed. They are just watching. Money hates performance. Wealth grows in quiet rooms, not in loud appearances. Every time you spend money to look important, you are secretly telling money that you don't respect it. The wealthy understand one principle very early. Looking rich keeps you poor. Being rich often looks boring. If your spending is shaped by opinions, applause, or envy, your future is being shaped by insecurity. People who chase image end up chasing loans. People who chase substance end up attracting money. Ask yourself honestly, if no one was watching, would you still buy it? Because until spending becomes intentional instead of emotional, money will come into your hands, but it will never stay. Wealth begins the day you stop trying to prove anything to anyone. Point 2. Stop looking for quick money. Quick money destroys slow character. Anyone who is addicted to fast money is not prepared for lasting money. Shortcuts feel intelligent at the beginning, but they always send expensive invoices later. Scams, betting, sudden connections, overnight success stories, they all sell the same lie. You can skip the process, but wealth has never respected impatience. From long observation, I have learned this. People who chase fast money rarely keep money. They celebrate quickly, then disappear quietly. Real wealth is painfully slow. It grows quietly. It repeats boring actions daily. Most people quit because nothing exciting seems to be happening. But that boring season is where discipline is formed. Ask yourself this uncomfortable question. Can you stay consistent when no one is clapping? The people you envy today once showed up when life felt dull, silent, and unrewarding. They did not become rich fast. They became rich repeatedly. There is a reason slow money lasts. It teaches patience. It teaches risk management. It teaches humility. Quick money teaches arrogance. And arrogance never survives money. Anyone who wants fast money is not ready for big money. Point 3. Stop hating discipline. This point alone separates those who wish to be rich from those who eventually become rich. Let me say this slowly because many people misunderstand discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is not suffering. Discipline is not cruelty. Discipline is simply the ability to do what must be done even when your emotions disagree. Most people don't hate discipline openly. They hate it quietly. They postpone it. They negotiate with it. They promise themselves they will adopt it later. But later never comes. From observation, I have learned this painful truth. People do not fail because life is hard. They fail because they are undisciplined when life is easy. When things are calm, they relax. When things are comfortable, they drift. When no one is watching, they abandon structure. Yet money is attracted to structure. Wealth does not trust chaos. If you cannot control how you wake up, how you spend your evenings, how you manage small amounts of money, how you respond to boredom, then large sums of money will never feel safe in your hands. That is why some people receive opportunities and lose them, not because the opportunity was bad, but because the person was unprepared. Discipline is what allows repetition, and repetition is how wealth is built. Think about it honestly. Can you repeat boring actions daily without applause? Can you save when it feels pointless? Can you learn when others are resting? Can you say no when temptation feels harmless? Because riches are not built in moments of excitement. They are built in seasons of consistency. Even ancient wisdom understood this principle clearly. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. Notice the word diligent, not talented, not lucky, not gifted. Discipline is the bridge between intention and reality. Many people have dreams powerful enough to change their bloodline, but habits too weak to support them. Let this truth sit with you. Money does not respond to desire. It responds to discipline. And until discipline becomes normal, wealth will always feel distant, even when it is close. Point 4. Stop saying money is evil. This sentence sounds spiritual, but it quietly sabotages destinies. Many people say they want wealth, yet deep inside, they carry suspicion, fear, or even resentment toward money. They say, money corrupts people. Rich people are greedy. Money ruins families. Let me be honest with you. Money does not ruin people. It reveals them. Money is a magnifier. Whatever is already inside you, money simply turns up the volume. A bitter person becomes more bitter. A generous person becomes more generous. A disciplined person expands. A careless person collapses faster. Blaming money is convenient. It allows people to stay poor while feeling morally superior. But here is the uncomfortable truth. You cannot attract what you secretly despise. If deep down you believe money is dirty, dangerous, or evil, you will subconsciously push it away every time it comes close. You may pray for it. You may talk about it. But your inner beliefs will reject it. Think of money like fire. Fire can cook food or burn a house. Fire is not evil. Misuse is. Money is the same. Throughout history, money has built hospitals, schools, roads, and opportunities. And money has also funded wars and corruption. The problem was never the money. The problem was the hands and minds holding it. Even Scripture handles this carefully. It does not say money is evil. It says the love of money is dangerous. Why? Because loving money more than people deforms character. But fearing money also cripples progress. If you are called to influence lives, support causes, uplift others, or leave a legacy, money becomes a tool, not a temptation. Ask yourself honestly, do I respect money or do I resent it? Because wealth avoids conflicted minds. Money goes where it is welcomed wisely, managed responsibly, and used purposefully. Until you correct your relationship with money, it may come near, but it will never stay long. Point 5. Stop depending on one source of income. One income may feed you, but it rarely frees you. Most people confuse survival with wealth. A single income stream creates a fragile life. It means one decision, one crisis, one delay can shake everything. From observation, this is what I have seen repeatedly. When people depend on one source, fear becomes their companion. They tolerate toxic environments. They remain silent when they should speak. They stay stuck because options feel dangerous. Wealth, however, grows in options. It thinks in streams, not pipelines. In skills, not titles. In assets, not just effort. Ask yourself calmly, if your main income disappeared for 6 months, what would happen? Panic is a sign of dependence. I have seen people with impressive salaries remain anxious. and people with multiple small streams sleep peacefully. Why? Because dependence breeds fear, and fear kills growth. Even nature does not depend on one source. Rivers are fed by many streams. Trees spread their roots wide. But people put all their financial weight on one employer, one business, one client, and call it safety. That is not safety. That is exposure. Multiple income streams do not begin with money. They begin with skill. You learn, you practice, you offer value. At first, the income is small, sometimes embarrassing, but freedom is built in phases, not jumps. The wealthy understand this quietly. What you earn with your hands is limited. What you build with your mind multiplies. Do not misunderstand this point. This is not greed. This is wisdom. Because if your income stops when you stop working, you are not wealthy. You are just employed. Point 6. Stop procrastinating. Procrastination is not laziness. It is fear wearing polite clothes. Most people who procrastinate are not idle. They are busy thinking, planning, analyzing, doubting. They know what to do. They just delay doing it. From observation, procrastination destroys more futures than failure ever has. Why? Because failure teaches. Delay drains. When you procrastinate, you do not lose money immediately. You lose momentum. And momentum is difficult to recover. People tell themselves, I will start when things calm down. I will begin when I feel ready. I just need more information. But information without action becomes mental clutter. Life does not reward readiness. It rewards response. Look closely at successful people and you will notice something uncomfortable. They often acted before they felt confident. They learned while moving. They adjusted while progressing. Meanwhile, the procrastinator waits for certainty and watches opportunity expire. History is full of talented people who waited, and average people who started. Even ancient wisdom captures this sharply. Whoever observes the wind will never sow. In other words, if you wait for perfect conditions, you will die with perfect excuses. Procrastination feels safe. It feels responsible. But safety does not create wealth. Motion does. Let me ask you something honestly. What opportunity has your delay already cost you? Because tomorrow is not promised effort. It is only promised time, and time unused becomes regret. The rich do not act because they are fearless. They act because they value movement over comfort. If you want wealth, learn this discipline early. Start before you feel ready. Point 7. Stop ignoring financial knowledge. Ignorance about money is expensive. Many people suffer financially not because they are cursed, unlucky, or lazy, but because they never learned how money actually works. They are intelligent. They are hard-working. They are sincere. But when it comes to money, they operate in darkness. Think about it carefully. You were taught history, religion, geography, mathematics. But no one sat you down and taught you how money grows, how money leaks, how debt traps people, how assets differ from liabilities. So people earn money and lose it without understanding how. From observation, this is what usually happens. They work hard for money. Then money works against them. They don't budget because it feels restrictive. They don't read contracts because it feels boring. They don't ask questions because they don't want to look ignorant. And so they pay school fees to mistakes. Financial ignorance is dangerous because it feels normal. You can live many years without realizing that poor decisions, not low income, are the real problem. I have seen people earn little and grow wealthy slowly, and others earn much and remain permanently stressed. The difference was not income, it was understanding. Money is governed by principles, and principles do not negotiate with emotions. Even ancient wisdom hints at this reality. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, not lack of prayer, not lack of effort, lack of understanding. Learning about money does not mean loving money. It means respecting it. You respect fire by learning how to control it. You respect electricity by learning how it works. Money is no different. If you do not study money deliberately, you will suffer financially accidentally. Read, ask, learn, because money avoids those who handle it blindly, and wealth quietly favors those who understand its language. Point 8. Stop financially rescuing adults. This point is painful but necessary. You cannot become wealthy while constantly carrying people who refuse to walk. Let me be very clear. This is not about arrogance. This is not about cruelty. This is not about abandoning compassion. It is about wisdom. From observation, some people do not need help. They need responsibility. Every month, the same emergencies appear, the same stories, the same explanations. And every time you rescue them, something else happens quietly. Your own progress pauses. Savings disappear. Plans delay. Pressure increases. This is not generosity. It is emotional spending. Helping without boundaries creates dependency, and dependency feels like love until it becomes a burden. Here is the uncomfortable truth. There is a difference between helping someone up and enabling them to stay down. Even ancient wisdom acknowledges this boundary. If a person is unwilling to work, neither should they eat. Notice, unwilling, not unable. Constant rescue trains people to repeat failure without consequence, and consequence is often the teacher growth requires. You must help strategically, occasionally, with structure, not emotionally, not habitually. Build yourself first. Stabilize your foundation. Create margin, then help from overflow, not from sacrifice. Because if you destroy your future trying to save everyone else, you save no one, including yourself. Wealth requires boundaries. Even generosity needs rules. Point 9. Stop ignoring small, consistent opportunities. Most people imagine wealth as something dramatic, a big break, a huge deal, a sudden miracle. But wealth rarely shouts. It whispers. Small ideas, small chances, small beginnings. Many people ignore opportunities because they don't look serious. They are too slow, too small, too ordinary. Yet those small actions compound quietly. One skill learned slowly becomes income. One connection nurtured becomes access. One habit practiced daily becomes mastery. People stay poor not because opportunities are missing, but because they are dismissed. I'll start when it's bigger. I'll try when I'm more ready. I'll move when conditions improve. Conditions never improve for those waiting. Even the great trees you admire began as seeds. Nobody protected. If you refuse small beginnings, you are refusing growth itself. Consistency beats intensity every single time. 5 minutes daily beats 5 hours once a year. Small savings beat no savings. Small actions beat excuses. The problem is pride disguised as patience. You want something impressive before you commit effort. Wealth does not respect ego. It rewards faithfulness. Start where you are, with what you have, as you are, because ignoring small opportunities is the silent killer of financial destiny. Point 10. Stop consuming more than you create. This is a quiet trap that keeps many people financially stagnant. Most people wake up consuming before they create anything of value. They consume opinions. They consume entertainment. They consume emotions. They consume other people's success. By the time the day ends, nothing has been produced. Wealth flows toward creators, not consumers. The richest people are not the smartest. They are the most productive. Creation does not only mean art or business. It means value, a solution, an idea, a service, a skill, a system. If your life is only about absorbing what others have made, you will always need someone else's money. Consumption gives comfort. Creation gives independence. Most people are addicted to comfort. They scroll more than they think. They watch more than they build. They react more than they plan. Creation is uncomfortable. It demands focus. It demands patience. It demands failure. But it pays back generously. Every day, ask yourself one honest question. What did I create today? If the answer is nothing, then nothing changing financially should not surprise you. Balance your life. Consume to learn, but create to grow. Because those who only consume will always fund the lives of those who create. Point 11. Stop ignoring small leaks in your financial boat. This is where many people sink, not because of storms, but because of tiny, ignored holes. Small expenses look harmless. They don't shout. they whisper. A little subscription here, a small impulse by there, a habit you never question. Individually, they look innocent. Collectively, they are brutal. Wealth is rarely destroyed by big decisions. It is destroyed by repeated small negligence. People dream of big money, while bleeding quietly every month. The problem is not that you don't earn enough. The problem is that money quietly escapes you. A wise man once said, "Whoever is faithful in little is faithful in much." If you cannot manage a few coins, large sums will only expose your lack of discipline. Rich people respect small numbers. Poor thinking mocks them. They track, they review, they adjust, not because they are stingy, but because they understand control. Money behaves like energy. Where attention goes, it flows better. Look at your financial boat. What are the leaks you have normalized? What drains have you accepted as just life? Fix the small holes before praying for a bigger ship, because no amount of income can compensate for careless leakage. Point 12. Stop running from discipline and calling IT lifestyle. This is one of the most dangerous deceptions of our time. Many people don't lack opportunity. They lack structure. They call disorder freedom. They call inconsistency being flexible. They call impulse following my heart. But wealth does not grow in chaos. Discipline is the bridge between vision and reality. Every wealthy system you admire, businesses, investments, empires, runs on routines, rules, and restraint. You cannot build long-term wealth on short-term emotions. Rich people don't wake up motivated. They wake up committed. They do boring things consistently. They follow plans even when it's uncomfortable. They delay pleasure without making noise about it. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect. The Bible hints at this truth when it speaks of stewardship, managing what is entrusted to you faithfully. A life without discipline feels free at first, but later becomes very expensive. A disciplined life feels heavy at the beginning, but later becomes very rewarding. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your systems. If wealth is your desire, then discipline is not optional. It is the price. Stop running from it. Stop renaming it. Stop fearing it. Because discipline doesn't take from you. It gives you everything back with interest. My friend, if you've listened carefully, this is not just a list. This is a mirror, a reflection of habits that quietly determine your future. Becoming rich is not magic. It is painful unlearning. It is staring at your own choices honestly without excuses. It is losing old habits, losing old mindsets, losing old company. Wealth demands a new identity. It demands patience. It demands discipline. It demands courage to say no to what has been comfortable for years. Some of these truths may sting. Some may offend your ego. Good. Truth always hurts before it heals. Remember this. Money flows to those who respect it. Opportunity rewards those who act. Freedom favors those who create. Wealth waits for those who are ready to handle it. You cannot attract riches while living in the same patterns that repel them. You cannot escape mediocrity without embracing discipline. You cannot build an empire while carrying people who refuse to walk. So I leave you with this challenge. Look at yourself today. Look at your habits. Look at your environment. Look at the truths you have been avoiding. Ask honestly, am I ready to do what it takes, or do I want only the dream? Am I willing to stop the habits that guarantee poverty? Because the truth is simple. Poverty is not always lack of money. Sometimes it is refusal to change. Sometimes it is a refusal to listen. Sometimes it is a refusal to act. The choice is yours. The responsibility is yours. The results inevitable. If this message disturbed you, celebrate it. It means your mind is alive. Your future is waiting. And if it helped you, share it, teach it, live it. Because wisdom is not a trophy to admire. It is a life to be lived. My friend, go. Stop what keeps you poor. Start what builds you wealthy. And remember, greatness is rarely loud but always consistent.